Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get underway. Let's learn about how are we going to get this generational wealth. Before we even get started, thanks to all of my subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, it would be a good idea for you to subscribe to this channel to get the real information. No holds barred, ladies and gentlemen, because I truly do want for you that which you want, that which I want for myself. And I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I am simply doing my duty to help the human family get access to opportunity when it comes to creating generational wealth. And I'm here to share my discoveries with you. And we're going to talk about the CANTON network today, ladies and gentlemen. And I've been at this thing consistently, round the clock, in the dungeon, trying to figure this thing out. So, nothing I say here is financial advice. However, because of my painstaking measures and education, like I said, I'm going to share with you the things that I see that are efficient, things that are relevant, and a lot of things are also time sensitive. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, put your thinking caps on and let's get busy learning how to get this generational crypto. And for all of those of you who like to go down in the comment section, please feel free to go down in the comment section and have a discussion, and shouldn't have to tell you guys to be respectful, treat people how you want to be treated, but all too often I see a lot of people that view content on YouTube, and the viewers sometimes, more times than not, have a sense of entitlement. And nobody is here to impress you. Nobody is here to sell you anything. Nobody's here to convince you of anything. So for all of you who have a sense of entitlement and is sitting back with your arms folded with a impress me sort of attitude, you can just lose that, because we are all here to learn. We are all here to be grateful for the information that anyone has to impart with us. So with that, let's get to the tools that we're going to need as prerequisites to chasing down this generational wealth, ladies and gentlemen. And first up on the list, of course, we have Kinesis Money. If you look at this little icon right here that I'm circling around, that of course is Kinesis Money. And if you've been on this channel, you've seen me do some full-scale deep dives into Kinesis Money. I've been in Kinesis Money pretty much since I've been in crypto, which is going on 5 years here, ladies and gentlemen. But even before that, I am not some newfangled, just got into crypto, hype boy. I'm not a boy at all in any sense. But I've been here since the beginning. I've been in computer tech. I've done data entry. I've done animation. I've done, Pixar before it was Pixar. And, I was programming in BASIC in the 7th grade. I've been here since the beginning of this whole technological, since technology was available to the average person in society. I even remember the first computer was a TRS-80 Model 1. Previous to that, you had to be some sort of scientist in order to get your hands on it. So I've been here since the beginning. So I understand the foreground and I understand the background. For all of those who remember the 5.0 floppy disk days, welcome to the channel. And we're also going to need some places to get our crypto, ladies and gentlemen. Some centralized exchanges, some decentralized exchanges. I personally use UPHOLD as not only an exchange to get my crypto, but also to attach my bank account and my fiat debit cards in order to on-ramp my fiat into the crypto sphere. And I also use UPHOLD as sort of a broker, if you will. And so I'm able to buy my crypto And of course, not your keys, not your crypto, but Uphold is a little different. You can actually use it to replace your fiat banking systems, because one thing that they don't do is they don't lend the money out that you have on Uphold. And I also have the Uphold card, so I have no need, in order to pay for my lifestyle and or my bills, I have no need to go back into fiat. And I do my best not to, because once you go back into fiat, you risk, triggering a capital gains tax. So if you can stay in the cryptoverse and pay your bills from there, do so. And besides, you don't want to trade a appreciating asset for a depreciating asset, which of course is fiat and or regular everyday money. So I use Uphold, I use MEXC as another centralized exchange. And if you use my links down in the description below, you can sign up for Uphold, MEXC, and KRAKEN. And KRAKEN is pretty good. I just recently started using KRAKEN. I really had no need to use them for some time, but I said, you know what, let me, the more the merrier. Let me give these guys a try and see what's going on. And I must say, I've been impressed with KRAKEN, and I like what they're doing over there. So that's how you're going to get your crypto, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, you're going to have to learn how to provide liquidity and all of that, because we are here to learn how to be the banks, ladies and gentlemen. And once we get our crypto, some of it we're going to hold, and some of it we're going to provide liquidity and earn fees. And we just want to build a nice little portfolio. And the great thing is about crypto is you can do this any way you see fit. But one thing that you want to do is you want to keep self-custody, and you want to be the captain of your own ship. Okay? So, yeah, you want to keep the keys in your own hands, ladies and gentlemen. So, don't waste a lot of time on ROI dApps and stuff like that, okay? So we are here to talk about the CANTON network today, ladies and gentlemen. And when it comes to the CANTON network, for those of you who don't know what it is, let's go to find something out. But before we do, I might as well take advantage of what just popped up on the screen. And that is the debacle between what is BTC and what is Bitcoin. Because the entire world thinks BTC is Bitcoin. I can show and prove at no limited time that it is not, with actual facts. And all you have to really do, to make a long story short, is consider what Greg Maxwell and Jack Dorsey did in 2017, and why we even have Blockstream, the company Blockstream, and or so-called core, so-called Bitcoin developers. So I'm not going to get into today, because I've covered this before. But if you want to read more about it, you can simply go right here to what's on the screen. That's btcnotbitcoin.com, ladies and gentlemen. But let's go and find out why we're here. We are here today to talk about the CANTON network. And as you can see, I've been doing a lot of searching on CANTON network. And it's pretty special, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, it's so special, I'll probably name this video that CANTON network has indeed come to eat XRP's lunch. Because we all thought that the unified ledger that the Bank of International Settlements was talking about, and all of the other big dogs in the world, Blackstone, BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, of course, and, the DTCC, and, Lloyds of London, and, just all of the biggest of dogs. Where were they going to place all of this liquidity that's coming from traditional finance into or on chain and into the cryptoverse? And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. So the DTCC and digital asset partner to tokenize DTC, Department Trust Company, and clearance, of course, that's what the other C stands for, custody U.S. Treasury securities on the Canton network. You see? So, what it's all about with Canton, ladies and gentlemen, it's a unified ledger where you have actual privacy. So only you and the person that you're doing your financial transactions with are validating that transaction. It's not like on regular network crypto tokens that are not private. They people can see what's in your wallet from here into eternity. You know, they can run your contract address to your wallet at any time, or your receiving address, and they can see everything that's in your wallet. We all know this, those of us that are in crypto, you know. And if you're pretty new to crypto and you don't understand some of the things I'm talking about, don't fret. Stay with the video. Learn these terms, and one day you will understand. Don't just say, oh, I don't understand that stuff, and click off. Like, no, do yourself a favor and stick around, okay? We're going to have a lot of fun. So privacy will unlock the next era of institutional scale on-chain finance, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to know and understand that in all of crypto, there's $3.1 to $3.9 trillion in all of crypto. If you add every single blockchain and every single token, and 2.3 trillion of that 3.1 to 3.9 is Bitcoin. But I want you to know something. I want you to understand how special the Canton network is. I want you to know and understand that the Canton network, ladies and gentlemen, they walked in the door with none other than $6 trillion themselves, ladies and gentlemen. And they're adding another 4 trillion in increments of $400 billion per day, ladies and gentlemen. And that's just a start, because all of the liquidity that is held dormant in these banks, all of the liquidity that used to be static, all of the quadrillions of dollars that we thought was going into XRP, it is not, ladies and gentlemen. The Canton network has been let out of the bag. They are not some newfangled, new school, oh, come look at me, this is hype boy to the moon. No, they have been here. They have been a secret, ladies and gentlemen. A secret we were not told about. They have been developing this for over 10 years, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. When Bitcoin was being let out into the world, Canton Network was silently being created. This is something that we were not allowed to know about, ladies and gentlemen. But the secret can no longer be kept, because in November 2025, ladies and gentlemen, the cat was let out of the bag, and I was sitting right there. And now you can be too. I got in on Canton Network and I got the CC token because it was very difficult to ascertain what's going on with this thing. You know, so I got in at 7.5 cents. And we're just going to learn about this today, because there is something else that is going on. All right. So they've enabled, as you can see, atomic settlement and the ability to mobilize exchange assets 24/7. So yes, Wall Street will be on the Canton Network, buying, selling, and trading privately 24 hours a day. The NASDAQ, the S&P 500, all of that dormant liquidity sitting in banks doing nothing but backing up financial settlement. All of that is coming alive, ladies and gentlemen. So this is where you want to be. So we're going to take a quick look here, and I hope that you have the ability to have the vision of what is happening here, because it is truly insane, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking now at almost 14.5 cents on the Canton coin. Now, the Canton coin is not a coin that you can just buy. It's not just a coin that people are looking, you know, saying, oh, you know, win Lambo and all that. It's not about that, ladies and gentlemen, because I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, price is a distraction, ladies and gentlemen. What it's about is getting in with real world assets where all of the liquidity is coming, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to chase the money. You just have to position yourself underneath the waterfall and simply allow the liquidity to come to you as you get drenched in generational wealth, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what's going on here. So only people that contribute to the network are allowed to get these coins. You can buy them off the market, but when you buy them off the market, you're buying them from people that are either super validators or building some sort of app. They are contributing to the Canton network in some shape, form, or fashion, ladies and gentlemen. If we go here and we look at the info, you can see right down here it's showing you the network's native utility token was designed to reward real network usage over speculation. It aligns the success of network with the participants who make it work, fairly rewarding app builders and app users as well as those operating decentralized infrastructure. The result is fundamentally different model where rewards flow to those creating value through real activity, not only miners or early investors. So you see, there's a lot of room for a lot of people to get involved and get into generational wealth building, ladies and gentlemen. So rather than proof of work or proof of stake in Canton Network, they call it having proof of stakeholder, ladies and gentlemen. So we are here to talk about today about some wallets, because you're going to need a wallet, ladies and gentlemen. You are going to need one of the wallets that I use here. Notice I said one of them is called the Bron Wallet. Another wallet that I use, ladies and gentlemen, is actually called the Loop Wallet. Okay, and when you look at the Loop Wallet, this is how it looks here. And I actually have this. This is a purely Canton Network wallet. It doesn't have any other, ledgers or blockchains on it. So I used this one first, and then later I started using the Bron Wallet. And the Bron Wallet is like my where I do most of my activities because of the many things that they have going on. When you go inside the Bron Wallet, ladies and gentlemen, when you get yourself an account, you don't use seed phrases or anything like that, because they use guardians in order to reconstruct your wallet should you switch devices. But they also have a Canton Network billing campaign going on where you can earn Canton tokens depending on what type the amount that you receive will be determined by what sort of account that you have within the Bron Wallet, because it is a subscription-based wallet. However, you can forego the subscription simply by holding the appropriate number of Bron tokens, ladies and gentlemen, of which I have done. So, yes, I am receiving Canton coins every day, and I am looking to climb the charts into Canton greatness using the Bron Wallet, ladies and gentlemen. So, as you can see here, self-custody without compromise means crypto without fear, built for true ownership with seamless recovery and institutional grade security, because wealthy people that are multimillionaires, billionaires, and even trillionaires, they're not walking around with a mnemonic seed phrase of 12 and 24 words, ladies and gentlemen. No. They are using institutional grade, sharded, multi-sig type wallets that they can import anywhere in the world. So you don't have to worry about somebody finding your seed phrase. Like, oh, if they find my 12 words, if they find my 24 words, people can import my wallets and wipe me out. Not so with this. Not so with this. So we're going to look at a little bit of Bron videos, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're going to come back to this because there's something very special that I have to show you. So if we go here, and we're just going to go and take a quick look inside of, as soon as we can get this guy off our screen. And yeah, here we go. And let's just type in Bron. All right. You know, I don't like to do a lot of editing in my videos. I like to keep it very spontaneous, if you will. But you can go on YouTube and you can look at, you know, Bron Wallet, and you can actually see, you know, saying some videos on how things work. I'm not going to go through them today because I have covered this in a previous video, ladies and gentlemen. So feel free to go on my channel and look through and find the other video. But I'm just letting you know, you can also just come right here and look at any of the videos that you want. So let's go on back here and let's take a look at the Bron Wallet. Now, if we take a look here, ladies and gentlemen,
anytime,
we will see
auction runs January 21st to 24th.
Let's take a look at this.
Zama public token auction is live. Participate with Bron. Shield USDT or USDC in Bron. Copy the Wallet Connect link from auction.zama.org and connect your Bron wallet securely. Submit your bid for Zama. Minimum step is 0.005 USDT. Users who participate using a Bron wallet will receive a 5% bonus in Zama and 1% bonus in Bron. Latest bids, total shielded tokens, auction status, anytime. Auction runs January 21st to 24th. Join the auction now.
So once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is that time-sensitive
Zama
stuff that I
public
was
token
talking
auction
about.
is live. Participate with Bron. Shield.
This is the time-sensitive stuff that I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
USDT.
And so if you wanted to get included in this, so anybody that's inside of the Bron Wallet, anybody that's utilizing the Bron Wallet can take advantage of this. Now, if we go here, you might say to yourself, because Bron not only uses the CANTON network, but it also, you can also use other blockchains. You can use Ethereum, you can use Base Chain, you can use Tron, you know, so it pretty much is pretty well-rounded when it comes to your general crypto, you know, needs, ladies and gentlemen. But if we go over here to Zama, you know what I'm saying, if we consider getting the Zama tokens, as a matter of fact, as soon as I make this video, I'm heading over. I've already got everything prepared on my laptop. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to grab some Zama tokens myself. But it says here that Zama is an open source cryptography company that builds state-of-the-art, fully homomorphic encryption solutions for the blockchain. Now, for me, this is, put the music back on, ladies and gentlemen. For me, this is, you know, an opportunity for me to be involved, because the last time I wanted to get involved with something that had fully homomorphic encryption, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, but it was the Pepe coin. Now, people say, Pepe coin, what does that got to do with anything? I'm not talking about Pepe, the fake Pepe. I'm talking about the actual original Pepe coin itself, because the Pepe that everybody thinks is the Pepe coin is not. Like, you know, there's a whole thing that goes with that. And if you looked at my channel, you know the whole story. But over here on Pepe coin, you know what I'm saying, which is now 12 cents. And if you go to the max, you see that at one time, you know, we were way up here at $7.45 per token. But if you go over here and you look at Pepe coin, and if you go to pepecoin.io and everything, they had this AI thing going on where they were merging AI with Pepe coin, and I was all in. I was knee deep in it, and you know what I'm saying, and I was staking and doing the whole thing, and you know, earning coins and everything. And at the last minute, they switched the coins, the Pepe coins that I was getting, because I thought I was going to get the Pepe coins and I was going to swap them out and everything was going to be all good and this, that, and the other. And they created their own Pepe coin blockchain, and then they switched my tokens for Pepe coins on their blockchain. And needless to say, they were garbage coins. Like, they were completely useless. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody down in the description, if you know something different other than I know, because I still have thousands of these Pepe coins on their blockchain, which are just sitting there. So, you know, they did like a bank move on me where they give you nothing, and, you know, they take your actual something and give you nothing in return. You know, so I still have those coins sitting there, and I have been unable to swap them out. Or, you know, so basically I kind of got played, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Now, they had the right idea, you know, but they did use, for their AI thing that they're doing with the brains and all, they were using fully homomorphic encryption. And basically what that means is you're able to identify yourself without revealing your information. So like different machines and computers, they can basically identify you without you having to give your social security number or some valuable pieces of information, you know. But enough about that. Enough about Pepe Coin. But here, I pretty much got my second shot, you know what I'm saying, concerning, you know, cryptography and fully homomorphic encryption, because I was very interested in the concept. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get some Zama tokens, ladies and gentlemen. And before the 24th, like I said, as soon as I finish this video, I'm going to go jump on over there and I'm going to grab some tokens and continue to develop my Bron Wallet, my Canton, and at different inflection points, you know, I will be cashing out, you know, some of my tokens along the way. You know, if Canton goes from 14 cents to 80 cents or $1.20, whatever, you know what I'm saying, I may cash them out. But being that I got in at 7.5 cents, I've already doubled my money, you know, and I have taken profit of a few $100s already. So it's working out well for me. But I do know that it's going to work out even more well in the future because of all of the quadrillions of dollars of liquidity that is coming into Canton network, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, I just wanted to introduce you to what's going on over here on the Phantom wallet, which of course is a Solana wallet, ladies and gentlemen. And they now have perps, ladies and gentlemen, or perpetuals. You know, perps is short for perpetuals, of those of you who don't know. And they did something really strange over here, because I went in here into the perpetuals, and I did I happened to find out from Sir Toshi, not Satoshi, Sir Toshi, on I watch his videos regularly, and he's a guy that is always on the case concerning Satoshi's original vision, you know, which takes place in BSV, ladies and gentlemen. So we are looking at tokenized stocks today. And this is very, very, how should I say, mind-blowing, because BSV is being ignored. And there's a reason why BSV is being ignored. It's being ignored because it is the actual, factual, real Bitcoin that goes all the way back to the Genesis block. Unlike BTC, which does not go back to the Genesis block, because people will try to convince you that BTC is Bitcoin and that BSV is the fork. It's like, no, 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 no. Bitcoin Cash is a fork. BTC is a fork. BSV is the only one that did not fork. It is the original Bitcoin protocol with Terranode technology, utilizing 1 million transactions per more, scalable into the billions and trillions of transactions per second. Also using Web3's IPv6, ladies and gentlemen. So the thing about it is, Greg Maxwell and Jack Dorsey want to keep this quiet because BTC was the effort, and it worked. It was the effort to hand the Bitcoin narrative back to the banks. This is why you have Bitcoin, so-called Bitcoin ETFs and the like. Because they can't control Bitcoin, they needed a way to control Bitcoin. The same way they can't control you, so they created a second you known as the straw man. Oops. That's right. So this is what's going on concerning BTC, ladies and gentlemen. But the truth can't be held forever. So especially once people start seeing real atomic settlement, especially once people start seeing, peer-to-peer transactions, especially once people start seeing 1 million transactions per second or more, especially once people start seeing, let's go on over here for a second. Now watch this, ladies and gentlemen. You see this stable coin here? This is a stable coin, ladies and gentlemen, known as MNEE or money, which is on the Bitcoin, original Bitcoin blockchain and or BSV, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. So now you have stable coins that are not pegged to fiat, but are pegged to Bitcoin. Satoshis. Stable coins that utilize Satoshis, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Also transacting at over 1 million transactions per second TPS. You see? So if fiat falls, you've got stable coins that are pegged to Bitcoin and not fiat. So you are successfully outside of the system with Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. So you have another resource. So yes, you know what I'm saying? All roads lead to Bitcoin. We love Bitcoin and we love it in its original sense, ladies and gentlemen. So once all of Satoshi's coins are sold, once the legacy, which is at 5 transactions per second, the Lightning Network does not work, ladies and gentlemen. Get that through your head. The Lightning Network does not work. And all of the Bitcoin maxis, everything they say about Bitcoin is true. There's only one problem. What is that problem? They don't have any Bitcoin. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to tell the truth, because the truth is the only thing that will set you free. So once again, this is not financial advice. I'm not here to sell you anything. I don't have any vacuum cleaners in my closet to sell you. And so don't you dare sit there with your arm folded on some old impress me type of stuff. This is you getting the cold, hard facts that are here to help you and you alone. I am going to be fine. I already know this stuff. I am here to share it with you. So do yourself a favor and benefit from the knowledge of generational wealth. Becoming your own bank. Cutting out the middleman. Not your keys, not your crypto. Only invest what you can afford to lose, ladies and gentlemen. Play the long game. Look at this thing as in, where am I going to be in 5 years? Where am I going to be in 10 years? Because this is how BlackRock and the corporations, this is how they look at things. And this is how you ought to look at things if you are running your life as a business. Because you need to know how to make money while you sleep. When you wake up in the morning, I don't wake up in the morning because I'm already up. I've been up chasing crypto all night. Well, not really chasing, but getting the knowledge. I don't even sleep anymore. I just take naps. That's how hard I am all in on crypto. So when I see people saying, I lost $20, I'm leaving crypto. Like you hurting somebody. You ain't hurting nobody. You're hurting yourself. Because the only place for you to control your destiny, the only place for you to be, not only be your own bank, but to be your own international monetary exchange simultaneously is in cryptocurrency, ladies and gentlemen. The only place where you can differentiate between digital assets and financial securities. It is the place where the power of choice can be returned to you. It is the place for you to gain generational wealth so that you no longer have to sell your time for money. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And when you get this knowledge, you need to give it to your children, because AI is here. The robots are here. Quantum computers are here. And what are you going to do when AI comes looking for you? Are you going to be a friend to AI and use it to your advantage? Are you going to use the robots to your advantage? Are you going to use quantum computers to your advantage? Because if you don't, you will be left behind. So all of that, I'm not into crypto, that's quite all right. Whether you're a doctor or a lawyer, whether you got $8 million or not, it doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. And you know why it doesn't matter? I'm going to show you before we go. I'm going to show you before we go. I said I'm going to show you before I go. That's right. Those of you guys that have been here, you know what I'm about to show you. That's right. I'm sorry. I had to do it. I had to do it, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't want to do it. I really tried to refrain from doing this, but I just had to. You guys pulled it out of me. That's right. The dreaded debt clock. Read it. But if you're in crypto, you don't have to weep, because we are doing something about it, ladies and gentlemen. If you're using fiat, it's only a matter of time before the debt clock chases you down. So if you don't want to drown, I suggest you go ahead and do what you got to do when it comes to getting this crypto.